nice little drive. Everybody's cruising to the tune, singing some songs, and it appears a little bug that can do absolutely nothing to you. And they are all freaking out as she continues to slap Buffet, slapping the living shit out of this girl. My God, I think it's all over. Putting other lives in danger all because of a little freaking bug. The best part of this is not only the slaps, but the reaction, the fear starts to settle in, and she's like, oh my God, this little bug! And she just starts to slap Buffet, slaps the living snot at her, a couple of shots to the back of the dome, a couple of shots to the front, giving her the taste of the backhand. Just about every combination of slap is being utilized here tonight, and we'll just go ahead and flip it on to Benny Hill mode.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Sunset Rants. I am Brian, the alleged producer, and tonight I'm filling in for Tay. I'm joining your regular co-host, the lovely and gracious D, better known on X as Cynical Latina. How are you tonight, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's up, bud?
Oh, man. I got a lot to rant about tonight. Ugh.
Same.
To say I am annoyed is an understatement, if you will. Just real quick, though, just tell you a little bit about ourselves. So it says in the outline, I'm supposed to shout myself out. You find me on X at Get Off My Lawn or at Brian Tidwell1. I also have a YouTube channel, BR Tidwell 55 on YouTube. I should have loaded up a banner for that. I did not. And D, where we can find you, what's your socials?
So you can find me on X and only X as Cynical Latina, and I am usually pretty active on there. I have to sometimes jump out of it because I'm in school and I don't get to be on social media all day. But
you are a very busy lady. Yep.
I do love to interact and I have fun doing it, and I will be your number one troll. So let's have fun.
All right, let's get to it. And before we get too far into it, just need to discuss real quick. There's a QR code in the in that corner. Check that out. That'll take you to our the Rise of Middle America website. There's also a merch tab there. We've got some great merch. Be part of this Rise of Middle America Nation, because we're all sitting here, some on the left, some on the right, and we're all looking at this like, man, this math ain't math, and then that's what we're trying to do around here, and this is part of it. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our first story here, and let's make sure, because we had this issue last night. Let me make sure, get a couple of seconds, and yes, the slides are actually popping. We had that problem last night. Anyway, technical difficulties. I'm usually on the other side of the camera, so I notice this stuff more. So anyway, the post I have up here is from the Post Millennial. Breaking update, Pam Bondi says Epstein Files release hindered by New York FBI office that concealed thousands of documents. So I don't think I need to go too far into what else happened today because, yeah, we got the old bait and switcheroo. It was, it turned into a darn photo op, and let me scroll. I'm going to try to find some of what's, yeah, okay. We'll bring this up. This is what it turned into. What had happened was they brought in a bunch of new media influencers. Like I think I see there's DC Drano, there's Kingsley Wilson, there's the Libs of TikTok gal, yeah, and they gave them these binders that, for fuck's sake, I could have gone to Kinko's and made those binders. Literally, I could have gone to Kinko's and made those binders because the only information that was in those binders is what's already freaking publicly available.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing new here. There's nothing. And then every one of them come out, every one of these influencers had almost exactly the same damn post saying, well, Attorney General Bondi was very forthright with, she was just as surprised as we were that this was all the information. And she just found out last night. She just found out last night, D. She just found out. Just Prakash Patel found out just last night from a whistleblower in the Southern District of New York Attorney General Office or Justice Office, whatever you call it. Oh, they're sitting on thousands of more pages of stuff.
And videos.
Well, of course, and videos. More and more evidence. Like, what's going on here? I mean, is that the truth? From the most transparent freaking administration ever, we've been told? Or is this just more gaslighting? Is this more photo opportunity like, you know, what Circle Back Psaki used to do when she'd bring in these leftist influencers like Dylan Mulvaney and that other, you know, trans non-binary dude that went through there doing all this stuff, you know. I mean, listen, watching these folks is just as cringe as watching that crap was to me back when they were doing that. What say you? Maybe I'm running out of breath. I need another sip of beer.
No, I mean, really and truly, there was something there, you know, and like I had kind of mentioned before, and I've been saying this all over my ex, is that it did not feel right when she gave that statement to Fox News. There was something there. She just clearly was omitting something. And I feel that the way that they delivered this to the American people was just, it was pretty stupid. I think Pam Bondi should have come out and said, hey, this is what I have. It's not a lot. And I'm kind of questioning it myself, instead of doing this big old, like, I don't know, this moment where they just made us wait and wait and wait and wait to just have it be delivered in such a weird way with these influencers. And so when the influencers got the binders, right, and they were all doing their little photo ops, I was about to go into class, and I posted, like, hopefully by the time I come out of class, because everybody was saying, hey, stay tuned, we're going to do a live in like 45 minutes to break down what's in these folders. So I'm like, hopefully when I come out of class, there'll be some kind of information, something good. And I come out of class, and like none of these like influencers were really like discussing much. So to me, that's like, okay, this was just bullshit. You know, it's just bullshit. And then we get the information that FBI office in New York was holding back all this information, and they lied to Pam Bondi and told her that they had given her everything. Is just like, all those people need to be arrested. I'm like, they need to go in there, close down that office, and every one of those excuse me, I'm like going crazy. They need to get fired.
Well, let me blow this up a little bit so it's a little bit easier
Mm-hmm.
to read for the audience and for myself, to be honest, because I didn't. Okay, so the Attorney General released this memo or letter today, or an order basically to Director Patel. Before you came into office, I requested full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which it consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, a list of victims' names, and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was a full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source, dun dun dun, I don't have my soundboard here, that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn about this new information. Really? I mean, does this not cover your ass? I mean, granted, I understand that the New York field office or whatever, that division is known to be fairly corrupt. I mean, that's the division that had the full force and weight of the FBI going after all the Trump stuff in New York federally, right?
Yeah.
We know that.
Same.
We know that's a rat's nest. So, come on. Is it me? Is it just me? Have I watched so much of this bullshit from the other side saying this doesn't add up? This doesn't add up. Am I just too hypersensitive to it, or should I just trust the process?
No, there's no trusting the process anymore, and the thing is that there was also leaks and whistleblowers saying that, they were destroying evidence and information. I just don't understand how, and maybe they did, maybe we just don't know because they like to admit so much information from us, but I don't understand why if they're getting information that files are being destroyed, that they didn't jump on that real quick. The FBI is like forming a coup against the government, in a way, because they are refusing direct orders from a duly elected FBI director, from the from the duly elected president. Like, all these people that are in the chain of command were voted in. They were done so legally. And so this one little branch deciding that they're going to go against what their orders are is just, they need to be prosecuted. They need to be made an example of, and we cannot have the FBI or any government agency doing what they want to do opposed to what they're ordered to do. It's their part of their job. And instead of I totally lost my train of thought, but yeah, that's not right. And they need to be made an example of. So,
You're exactly right. I ranted about this yesterday, and maybe we were hyped up. Also, I think we're hyped up too much, because I think a lot of us had an expectation, a fantasy of a Rose Garden press conference with Pam Bondi at a podium with President Trump on one side and Kash Patel on the other, announcing a list of indictments of very famous and very important people.
Yeah,
that's what we were expecting. What we got was a pretty shitty photo op.
Yes. And the thing is that it's a little bit more than that, I think, because it's not just, like I commented to someone, it's not just this rabid fury that, Republicans or MAGA has in regards to wanting the Epstein files released. It's the whole rules for thee and not for me, right? So we clearly can see that none of these people that were paying for Epstein services were poor people. They're not like you and me. They're not poor people struggling to pay bills. These are really rich people, you know, and so the government protected all of these people. Not one person has faced any kind of consequences except for Maxine, whatever her, you know, the Ghislaine,
Ghislaine
yes,
Maxwell. Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell. There you go. Sorry. But she's the
Right.
only one. She was like the scapegoat. You know, because Epstein, you know, of course, you know, got killed in prison. So she's the only one that's faced consequences.
I'll say it. He didn't kill himself, allegedly.
Of course, he didn't kill himself. Like he got killed in prison, and so everybody else has been able to stay under the radar, have their names protected, and they're protected by the government. And we need to take those people and bring them back down to the standard level of justice that everybody else is subject to. And that's, I think, one of the things that's so infuriating about this, because the victims, none of the victims are getting any kind of justice. The children that got sexually assaulted, you can't undo that. There's nothing that's going to undo what was done to them and the trauma that they've suffered. So they need justice. These people need to face justice. And, you know, the fact that none of them are, because they're being protected by the government or they're being protected by someone, is extremely insane. So why even have the justice system if everybody's not on the same playing field? You know, we're all supposed to be equal under the law. No one is above the law. The Democrats spent 4 years screaming, shrieking that as they try to prosecute Trump, but then they face any kind of illegal issue and they try to subvert the law. So no, these people need to go to jail. And that's why we're so fucking pissed, because they need to face justice just like everybody else. They're not special. They need to go to jail. And, you know, the government needs to fess up. Yes, it could create a shock to the system to see so many huge and powerful people be named as criminals, you know, as aggressors or whatever the hell you want to call them. But I think that it's important to clean house and get all these people out of the government. These people need to be out of the government.
I agree. I completely agree. And I'm trying to figure out how to transition to the next story because this feels like a natural break, but I'm not very polished at this. So I'm just going to say we have bad news.
Just go.
If you're a movie fan, this morning, actor Gene Hackman, he was 95 years old, and his 60-something-year-old wife were found dead in their home near Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, let me check my notes here. That's faster than reading the article.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 95. His wife is Betsy Arakawa, and she's listed as 63. Yeah, Santa Fe, New Mexico. And this was February 26th after a welfare check, I guess, and neighbors decided they needed checking on. The county sheriff found them. No foul play was initially suspected, possible natural causes initially, but there's been an update. Basically, the deaths are now considered suspicious due to the badly decomposed, mummified nature of the bodies. Yeah, and there was also a dead pet found in the home, too. There were pills found. So, yeah, bottom line, you know who Gene Hackman was?
I'm sorry?
Seen any of his movies? Gene Hackman, the actor?
Oh, yeah, of course. He's a great actor.
Yeah. Tragic loss, but well, let's see. Let's see. What are they talking? Well, what's the chatter on that about Al? Let's see here.
I mean, I've heard that there's like conspiracy theorists or theories going around. A lot of people found it really sus that this would happen like right before the Epstein Files got dropped. However, since there was absolutely nothing in the Epstein Files, we can safely say that it doesn't correlate.
It doesn't. Absolutely not. This is one of the things, and given what came out later today, the state of the bodies, they've been whatever happened to him
They had
happened
been dead for a while.
For a while, yeah. So
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of wondering is just kind of crazy if they were already kind of in a mummified state. How long had they been dead there? And I
yeah,
mean, like that's almost really sad. Like there's no one to check on them. Like,
um,
you think of these rich
it,
people, as having
it,
everything, but
yeah.
like
I
you
just
can't
want
even
to
have someone check on you. Like it's just weird.
address Biddy's comment right quick. I mean, Randy Quaid. I mean, he's kind of got off the deep end. I mean, if were unfortunate enough to watch that video on X, don't look for it. Do not, just don't do it.
Was it the one with his wife? Yeah, that was bad. I watched like the first few seconds and I cringed. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was
I watched all of
cringe.
I watched all of it, but afterwards I felt like I needed like some eye bleach, like scrub my eyeballs out because I was like, what is this? I need to go to church now.
Right?
Yeah, I need Jesus.
For real. Oh Lord. Let's see here. Well, instead of talking about, let's see it. There's some stuff here that's kind of celebrating the man's life and achievements. Okay. Can you read that? Can you translate? That's in Spanish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it basically says, let's see, like acclaimed actor Gene Hackman, winner of 2 Oscars, was found dead next to his wife Betsy. Yeah, we're just gonna go with Betsy. He was found Tuesday afternoon, and although authorities indicated there was no signs of a crime, they're gathering evidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just pretty much a generic news.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Gene Hackman and Young Frankenstein. Here he is in Hoosiers. That's probably one of my favorite roles of his. Picture of him and his wife a few years ago. Warning signs of carbon monoxide is exposed after Gene Hackman death. Well, there's always conflicting reports, says you. French Connection. That's another great Hackman flick. All right, I apologize. I'm rambling. I'm watching. I am waxing.
I mean, he was 95 years old, and like carbon monoxide is such a quick. You don't even know it's happening, So
you just go to sleep and you don't wake up.
Yeah, I just find it so weird, like I'm sure they had like pretty state of the art, like they could afford the most expensive stuff, and it doesn't resonate with me that they wouldn't have their home checked and stuff for these kind of things, and then that nobody would check in on them. Like they must know everybody, and or have relatives that would come in, kids or grandkids or someone that would come check in on them because he was 95 years old. But I guess just life isn't like that anymore, and people aren't like that anymore, and everybody leaves their elderly to just, okay, he's rich, he's fine. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. Whatever. I guess I'd be checking in on my older relatives, even if I didn't like them.
Right. Seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, but whatever. I guess it's just, that's life, and it's really sad. And he really was a great actor. It's just really, really unfortunate. But, he lived to be 95, which is, more than most Americans. I guess what the average lifespan is like 76, I think. So, I mean,
he had a long life.
Pretty damn good life. Yeah.
Long life, a hell of a career.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So I have we've got another great. We've got Pam Bondi talking about pushback at the FBI at that New York field office. Well, over on the other side of the security intel community, we've got shenanigans over at CNN. I mean CIA, CNN,
Ooh.
CIA, same thing.
Yeah.
So basically, they're trying to blackmail Trump here. Now, Trump's government cutting moves risk exposing the CIA secrets. The CIA is conducting a formal review to assess any potential damage from an unclassified email sent to the White House in early February that identified for possible layoffs some officers by first name and by last initial and could have exposed roles of people working undercover. A source familiar with the matter told CNN. It's just one of the multiple aftershocks from President Trump's push to take a jackhammer to the federal government, including the CIA. The administration's efforts to cut the workforce and audit spending at the CIA and elsewhere threaten to jeopardize some of the government's most sensitive work, and current and former officials within internal deliberations say. Reading ahead a little bit. Okay, on the seventh floor, some home top leadership, some officers are also quietly discussing how mass firings and buyouts already offered to staff risk, creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to a foreign intelligence service. I love how they buried the lead in this article.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, well, that's nice and everything, but we know lots of things, and we know sources and methods, and if you don't play ball with us, we may go work for the Brits. We may work for the Canucks. Maybe we'll go work for the Ukrainians. I think that's the subtle threat there. Or maybe I should have put my tinfoil Kevlar hat on for this one. But those are the tea leaves I'm reading.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I don't know what methods there are really and truly for preventing this kind of thing. I mean, you'd think that, the people that work for the government should love America, especially if they have security
Absolutely.
clearance and they have so much sensitive information that it's a privilege to have this. They're privy to this information that the rest of the world isn't, and that they would protect that information with their lives. But instead, they're like children. If I don't get my way, I'm going to use this information against you and actually go to another country and commit treason. I don't know. It's been a while since we've tried someone for treason. I think it's about goddamn time that we start trying these people for treason, because if they go to another country with our sensitive information, like, I'm sorry, man. That's it. You knew you risked that. You knew like those people that go to, what is it, Singapore and fuck around, and then they get caned and they find out. Like, you knew you risked that when you went over there and fucked around. So, these people that are committing treason against our country, they need to find out, and they need to find out that, and again, they need to be made an example of, so that other people that might feel that they're incentivized to, sell out to another country, think twice and think really, really hard about doing something like that, because they are gonna get fucked, and they should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All righty, so we've got even more drama coming our way, thanks to our wonderful folks in Congress. It looks like, well, we're on our way to another one of those great and wonderful government shutdowns. The story comes at you from, CBS News. My notes are right. Washington, D.C. Congress is barreling toward a deadline to avert a government shutdown in just over 2 weeks. Democrats and Republicans are at odds over whether there should be guardrails on President Trump's ability to withhold funding approved by Congress. Let's see. Democrats want to insert a language in the funding bill that the administration implements spending directed by Congress. A reaction to Mr. Trump's top advisor Elon Musk's work to downsize large swaths of the executive branch. Where Republicans have made it clear they won't accept those terms. Government funding expires on March 14th. Keeping the government open past the deadline will likely require bipartisan support in both the House and Senate. Republicans control 53 seats in the Senate, but the funding measure requires 60 votes for passage. Good old filibuster. In the House, Republicans are operating with a razor-thin majority and divided conference with conservatives regularly vote against government spending bills. So we're back to the same old two-step in Congress. And it's getting old. This budget deal that passed the floor yesterday, 2 days ago, one Republican voted against it, and it was Thomas Massey, and he voted against it for the right reasons. It did nothing to rein that the current budget that's being talked about does nothing to address the deficit. Me can't talk well. The deficit spending and the national debt. And if you look at all of the fraud, waste, and abuse the Doge folks are finding, it makes you question, okay, why are we continuing in the next budget to fund this crap anyway? Why aren't we looking at the shit that we're finding is wasteful, does nothing? Why aren't we pulling that out of the budget now? Or at least that's the question I have.
I don't think they want to do that because if you think about it, okay, so all this wasteful spending and all these BS programs and all these are just their little like the little money trees, their little baskets to pull money from and launder it. So they don't want to lose their little gold mines to be able to be funneling money back to themselves, or eventually it makes their way back to them. So, I that's how I feel. If we actually were to actually become efficient and cut all these programs, these politicians would have no way to launder money, which would be great for us, right? This is exactly what we want. But these people are so corrupt and they're so used to being able to do what they want and get their little monies from here and there that I don't think they're going to give that up easily without a fight. They want to be able to have their little cash cows here and there. So I don't know, because that's the only thing that I keep thinking of. Why would they not want to cut this spending? Like it's clear, unless they have this like super globalist agenda where they intentionally want the United States to crash so that they could build something else and they're already on top because they have the most money. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm not an expert. I'm not an economist. I'm not anything. The way that I look at it and apply some sort of logic, it doesn't make sense to me other than they don't want to lose their source of income,
Again, I think it's, another edition of the political theater that most people, frankly, don't pay attention to because, most normal folks are frankly tired of, they're fatigued of the show in Washington and they want to watch shit. What do people watch these days? The Kardashians? Is that still a thing?
Oh, hell no.
Shows you how far out of it I am. But that they'd rather watch
They're
that.
Still watching Friends.
Oh, I know what they're watching now. I live in Kentucky, so I know this. They're watching basketball. That's what they're paying attention to. They want to pay attention. They want to pay attention to Georgetown. They don't want to pay attention to Washington.
Probably, yeah.
I believe Georgetown is a basketball program of some note. Anyway. Speaking of people of note for some reason, but really shouldn't matter. Get this tab up. Your boys, the Tates, they back home.
Ooh.
Yeah. Coming at you from CNN World, Andrew Tate, brother arrived in Florida after leaving Romania. Spokesperson says, I'm sorry, that guy has a very punchable face. I'm just going to say. I'm going to keep scrolling. I love how CNN always parses this crap. Right-wing influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have landed in Fort Lauderdale, Florida after leaving Romania in a private jet Thursday, according to Matea Petra, the brother spokesperson. The Tate brothers, who are dual U.S. and U.K. citizens, have previously been banned from leaving Romania after being arrested in 2022 and charged with offenses, including the R word and human trafficking. They have denied all wrongdoing. Going down a little bit. Speaking to media outside of Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International Airport in Florida on Thursday after landing, Tate said, I think my brother and I are largely misunderstood. There's a lot of opinions about us, all the things that go around about us on the internet. He added, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, as my brother and I are. Okay, I'm going to pull this down right there. I'm just going to say up front right here, full disclosure, I think those two assholes are human trash. I think it's a damn shame. I almost took the Lord's name in vain there. I think it's a damn shame that there's a generation of Zoomer males that look up to those guys as the epitome of, maleness. The kind of guy, gym bros that live by 48 rules to power and can quote Sun Tzu. Like, I'm sorry. I guarantee you that motherfucker drives a Mercedes with a turn signal that he never fucking uses.
I'm full disclosure on my part. I don't know too much about these two guys, except that they're pretty despicable and they're not very well liked by people. I've heard some stuff. The clock is always right. What is it? Twice a day? Is that what they say? I've seen some videos.
Even a broke clock is right twice a day. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of videos, like short clips here and there that popped up on my feed where I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty logical. But, I had this discussion with my husband earlier because I don't understand why everybody hates them so much. But then again, I don't know a lot about Andrew or his brother. And, my husband's like, oh, well, they've been accused of this and that and that and this and this and that. I'm all like, well, and then they had their whole thing in Romania. And who was it? There was one commentator or something that was just like hated them. Hey, they're going to get arrested. They're never going to come out of prison and blah, blah, blah. And at the end, it was a big nothing burger. And now they've been able to come into the United States. So I'm like, well, regardless of how big of an asshole these people are and how despicable they are as human beings to the majority of us, they still didn't get prosecuted for anything. So maybe the evidence that's against them is wrong because they weren't able to prosecute them. And then my husband's like, well, you don't understand. He said on videos that he's trafficked young girls and tricked them into prostitution and this and that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty awful. But that's still like, okay, he might have, I don't know, like he might have said it for clout. He's mansplaining. I don't know how to explain it, but like,
well, again, innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
I believe in that. But if you look at what their business is, at the very least, I would argue that they are pimps because they are purveying pornographic or OnlyFans and all that. So at the very least, they're pimps.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, he's a despicable human being. I'm not arguing that. I just, like I said, I've never done a deep dive into these guys. I don't know much about them. I've never seen any of the videos where they're actually like really talking. So I don't know much about it. The only thing I can say is that, I guess I offering like a more neutral opinion, not knowing anything about them and not having any kind of personal bias is just, they haven't been able to be charged with anything. So I feel like a lot of it might be he said or hearsay. And but like, again, I completely agree that he's got a super punchable face. He looks like a dick. He's probably the biggest douchebag ever. I just I don't understand. A lot of the hate that I see is just opinion, that still calling him a rapist and still calling him this, but there's no evidence to lead to it. Who knows? Maybe he is. I just really don't know. I just don't like making assumptions like that, except when it comes to like I don't know, Adam Schiff. I guess it's just how our biases
Yeah,
work.
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to notice that.
Oh, what? Gollum. I mean, they should have left him bald for the Gollum.
Right?
His bald head would fit right in.
Right in, man. Okay,
Yeah, but I don't understand a lot of but again, I'm not emotionally invested, so I'm sure that someone that's done a little bit more information or has got a little bit more information is correct for having such a strong bias against them. So, but yeah.
Well, that being said, and after showing you a previous cursed GIF I just happened to run across as my ADHD brain was strolling through X while I'm supposed to be hosting and producing a live stream. Anyway, it's time for our favorite segment, or my favorite segment. It's called Caption This. And what we're going to do is I'm going to produce an AI. I'm going to bring up an AI produced image that's been shared with us by one of our great Discord members, who has asked that their credit be redacted. So this one's anyway. Without further ado, let me get the tab up. Here we go. It's time for Caption This. I'll throw the image up, and there it is. Throw the banner up.
Oh, that's easy. It's Congress.
So the deal here is I throw this image up. Audience, please give us your worst. And yeah, give us your worst. We'll pick the best. We'll choose a couple of best, worst, and if D and I can't agree, then what we'll do is we'll throw up a little poll and pick the best breed from the audience. So here we go. I am a chronic single tasker, Biddy. I'm just trying to be a little bit quicker as I'm skipping between tasks. That's all. Oh, come on. Somebody I mean, this is a cursed image here. I mean, you got these rats. You know, for some reason, the Titanic has Congress's dome on it. I mean...
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That's hilarious. That's why I'm like, it's Congress. You see... all the rats running away from the White House.
Really? X comments just not showing up, or what's going on? Is it just nobody talking anything? Huh. Oh, YouTube comments.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Roma just posted one on X. Bossman says, must be a late night filibuster tonight. Ooh.
There we go.
Was it meant to be Nust? Or must.
I'm gonna assume typo.
Must.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he corrects it over on the YouTube
On
feed.
YouTube. Oh yeah, there you go.
Me has transformed to an actual floating device. Keeps these two. True. Very true. I like that comment.
Yep.
hmm
Do you have one? Do you have one? Brian?
Actually, I'm gonna read Rick's Madison's comment here. This is what Steven Crowder's image of an unlimited left looks like.
I mean,
Yeah.
where is Aaron?
Yeah, we really need Aaron. Or Navasa. Where the heck is Navasa? I figured he'd have something. We'll go back to the image, so maybe we can inspire some folks. Let's do a double check here on, because I've got the feed up on my laptop just to double check that, yep, the stream is going out and displaying properly. So, let's see here. See if I can think of a good caption for this.
All right, I put one. I try to be funny on it, but I might have failed, but it's okay.
It works, yeah. Congress trying to abandon the sinking Contaniac.
Contanic.
Contanic. Okay.
I tried.
I'm seeing Contanic.
I tried. At least I made an effort. I don't know. This image does look like so slimy, though.
It really does.
Yeah, and all the rats like look wet.
Yeah, it did not populate my comment in X. So
oh no.
Do some copy paste action.
This is probably like a good example of the like the people that are going to be actually listening to Gavin Newsom's podcast.
Right.
That's probably what they look like.
Let's see if
I'm
this
sorry,
one.
that was mean.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's pretty good.
Congress has gotten too bad for the rats, so.
Yes. Even they don't like it.
No.
I don't know. I'm thinking you got this one, boss man.
I hope you're addressing AK, not me.
No, I'm saying you. You're the boss man tonight because you're here on the show with me. Our producer.
Okay. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, let's see here. If we'll do a quick poll. One in the poll, if you agree with D that I should have it, or two in the poll, no, pick somebody else.
Pick Brian. His was good. Oh, two, someone else. Okay, we got a 1 and a 2. All right, which one should we pick, Rick? Which one do you think is good?
Rick's going to vote for himself.
Did Rick post one?
He did.
Oh, let's see.
Actually, we missed this one from the boss.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that one. I didn't see Rick's either. Okay, okay, Roma's is pretty good.
See, I thought Rick had one. That's right. Oh, he might have one over here that isn't populating.
Brian read it earlier. Oh, that's so weird. I don't see it on my
Okay.
end.
Yeah, Rick's was it's moving here. Dang it. This is what Steven Crowder's image of an unlimited left looks like. That was correct. And thank you, Boss Man, for reminding this.
Oh, yeah. That hat is really cool, too.
That's right. Remember, the winner's caption this will be thrown to a championship round at the end of the month. Or caption this championship this month. We'll get a specialized Roman Nation Sunset Rants hat signed by Phil Labonte. So, I think. All right, so I'm going to nominate. I myself am going to nominate the boss's comment, and mine is really just kind of a play on that one anyway. So,
All right, well, then I'll go for the bosses, too. And we agree.
we agree. AK, boss, you win. Congratulations.
Boss, you're going to be winning your own merch. What's up with that? Mama, I made it. Woo.
Okay, that being said, I guess it's time to wrap this up. What are your final thoughts on today's disappointment, frankly?
Well, I mean, today was a lot of bullshit. There's really no other way to put it. It was just like we got all our hopes up just to be crashed down, and it sucked, because we were expecting more. But I'm hoping with the steps that have been taken now by Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, they're going to investigate these creeps at the FBI in New York. We're going to get some accountability, and I really hope they take a bulldozer to these agencies and to these people that are obstructing justice. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on today. It's just a bunch of bullshit and just very disappointing. But you know what? Every day can't be a holiday, and tomorrow is a new day. We just got to be hopeful. So it'll get done. I'm sure it'll get done. It's not going to be how we like it, and it might not be easy, but it'll eventually get there. So
Yep, like I said, I was mad. I shouldn't have been, because I should have seen it coming. I'm smarter than this. I try to keep my eye on this, but at the same time, we have to keep these feet to the fire. And I think that I'm hoping with that letter that the Attorney General Bondi issued to to the director of the FBI that something significant happens tomorrow, we start at least to scratch the surface. Something happens at that New York Justice Department office. So, fingers crossed. All right. That being said, I realized I left out something important. We're supposed to talk about the website, and we did allude to this stuff. There is Romanation merch. There's a merch store. You can find it at riseofmiddleamerica.pinful.me. There are tees, there are tanks, there are baseball jerseys, there are hats, backpacks, you name it, you got. So anyway, that's one way to help support what we're doing over here at the Rise of Middle America Network. And I'll get that off of here now, unless you have anything you need to say there, Dee.
Nope, just make sure to follow me on X at Cynical Latina, and give the show a follow. We do have a community for Romanation as well, and just you can kind of see what we're up to on there too, and it's pretty cool. So give us a check out, follow us, and interact with us. We'd love that. So
all right. So hey, tomorrow night I am pretty sure we've got a FAFO Friday coming up for you tomorrow night on this time slot, so you don't want to miss that. You also don't want to miss Romanation Podcast, the official, the flagship show at 9:00 Saturday evening. So we'll see you there, and then you will see. Yeah, I'll be back filling the seat again Monday with Elizabeth on Sunset Rants. So we will see you all there. MLK Uncensored. That is correct. Thanks for reminding me, boss. So, and I did the wrong thing. Yep. There we go. So anyway, I'm gonna pull us off stage. I'm Brian, and that's Dee. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. Love you guys.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.